Comparison is the thief of joy. This is a quote, I believe, by Tony Robbins, essentially speaking to the fact that comparison is one of the most nasty things out there. It's something that can really take you from feeling good to feeling like shit. It can make you feel incredibly discouraged. No matter how well you're doing, there's always someone out there, especially on social media, that is sexier, smarter, richer than you, that is having more fun than you. And it makes it very difficult to feel good about the progress that you're making. Because, there's just no shortage of people that are just doing way better than you in way faster amounts of time, right? And so you really have to optimize comparison. You can't just tolerate this default wiring. I think it's probably some type of survival mechanism to make sure we're, doing well in the eyes of society. But the thing is, on Instagram, on social media, you don't know what's real, what's not. And so to compare yourself to that is just setting yourself up for not feeling good. But even comparing yourself to people that have legitimate results and are just way ahead compared to you, like even comparing yourself to those people, you have to do it intentionally. Because if you compare yourself to other people in the fitness or business or whatever category of life, relationships, and say like, wow, look at that person. They have, a ripped body, or making millions of dollars, or, they have that relationship, and you let that immediately translate into feeling bad. There's a nasty little thought pattern that happens there where it's like, there's that positive result that I want. I don't have it. Then you're focusing on lack, and then there might even be a few stories in there like, I'm never going to get this, or I'm not deserving of this, or it's impossible for me, or they just got lucky, or XYZ, 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 right? And so you really have to catch that. You have to start to become aware of what is causing the comparison to turn into a very self-detrimental kind of thought pattern and emotional reaction, okay? And instead, you have to train yourself into this. Say, hey, look, that person achieved that. If they can, I can too. They may be a little bit more ahead in their journey compared to mine, but I know I'm in my own lane. I'm learning the lessons I need to learn. I'm making the progress at my own rate, and where I'm at is okay. Where I'm at is where I'm supposed to be. And they're doing great, and that's good for them. And I'm going to use that as inspiration. In fact, I may even ask them how they achieve that, and I may start to model their behavior so I can expedite my own journey. Their success doesn't take away anything from my success, and I'm going to focus each day on moving a little bit forward, a little bit forward, a little bit forward in my own lane. It's a massive difference, and it's a skill that you might as well train yourself into, because you really have two options. Either you compare yourself to somebody and you feel good and it fuels you to take more productive action, or you compare yourself to somebody and you feel like shit and it gets you discouraged and it is not constructive and you don't take productive action, right? So you're comparing yourself to other people anyways. You can't really avoid it. Like, you can delete all social media, but I mean, there's always going to be, someone driving by, or a couple walking by, or some dude at the gym, or a gal at the gym. There's always going to be comparisons. You can't avoid it. It's life, right? And so if we're going to be comparing ourselves to people, you might as well use it as a tool that serves you. Because then every time you compare yourself to somebody, it's a little injection of nitro to move you in the right direction, as opposed to it being a dagger in your back each time you compare yourself to somebody. And trust me, I know how hard it is, because even today I struggle with comparison, mainly on the business and achievement side of things, not necessarily body or relationships, but we all have the things that we compare ourselves to, and we all have the things that we feel like we're lacking the most in. And so I know how easy it is, and I know how shitty it can feel to compare yourself to somebody or multiple people and just feel like a lack, feel like such great distance between where you're at and where you want to be. And I'm better than I used to be in this area. Step one really is just becoming aware of how you compare and how it makes you feel. Because once you're aware of kind of how your brain works in that regard, then you can start to kind of take a step back and start to train yourself into new thoughts. So I'm still practicing, like, that whole thought pattern that I just described to you guys. I'm still practicing it. It isn't my default yet, but I know for a fact that it's worth it to train your mind into that direction over and over. Just like doing a bicep curl, you know, you do enough bicep curls, eventually you get big biceps. You train your mind through a certain thought pattern long enough, it eventually becomes your default. And then comparison can start to fuel you. It can be more of an inspiring mechanism as opposed to a discouraging mechanism. And everyone else who's succeeding in their journey, they aren't taking anything away from you. And you have to ask yourself the question, you know, let's say there's Susie who's super fit over here and Joe who's super rich over there, that, you know, and you look at them and, you know, it makes you feel bad because you're not ripped right now and you're not rich right now. But would you rather have a life or an inner circle or a mentor or anything else that isn't showing you what's possible and really striving for greatness in their own lane? Would you rather have a bunch of average people around you that are doing absolutely nothing and making you feel better about yourself? I don't think so, right? I think you'd rather have a life where you're surrounded by people that are crushing it, that are fit, that are healthy, that are rich, that have a great relationship and maxing out their potential. I think you'd rather have those reference points to compare yourself to, because it's true that, you know, we're not just the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. It's more accurate to say we're the average of the 5 people we compare ourselves to the most. It's the people that are our reference points, that we say, yeah, I want that, or I want that, or I don't want to be like that. You know, we become kind of what our reference points are and what we care the most about. And so it's a good thing to have people that are crushing it around you and to compare yourself to them. But again, you got to let that comparison turn into constructive action. Say, wow, she's doing that, I can too. This is what she did or he did to get that result. Let me try to implement some of that behavior. And then boom, boom, boom. And then every time you compare yourself, you're accumulating more ideas, more inspiration, more action steps. And eventually, you're going to be the person that people are comparing themselves to, and you'll be able to help them out because you'll have taken the steps and been through the exact process that they're going through. So you just got to pay your dues, but along the way, let your comparisons be constructive and try to let it translate into productive action. So again, this is all easier said than done. I'm still working on it myself, but I felt this was an important message to bring you guys today. So I hope it resonated with a few of you. I hope it was useful for a few of you. And besides that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.